Have you ever asked yourself why, despite endless effort, the numbers on your bank statement refuse to reflect the work in your hands, the hours in your mind, the fire in your chest? Why is it that some rise almost effortlessly, while others, despite sweat, sleepless nights, and relentless ambition, remain tethered to mediocrity? Ask yourself this now. Is it circumstance that binds you, or is it something far subtler, far more intimate, something within you? Perhaps the chains of poverty are not around your wallet, but around your mind. Perhaps the famine you endure is not of coin, but of thought. You see, being broke is never merely a condition of finances. It is the silent, invisible erosion of belief, the surrender to fear, the unnoticed decay of discipline. Napoleon Hill wrote that wealth begins as a state of consciousness, that the mind is the soil in which success takes root. But this soil, if poisoned by doubt, greed, or emotional turbulence, will yield nothing but struggle. Here is where the wisdom of the Stoics enters, like a quiet shadow stepping into a room ablaze with panic. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they do not care for your desire for gold. They care for your mastery over desire itself, for the stillness that precedes action, for the clarity that allows a man to see the patterns of fate and respond with precision, not panic. Imagine for a moment if your mind were as disciplined as your ambition is fiery. Imagine if your emotional turbulence were tamed. Like a wild stallion now listening to the whisper of rains, your thoughts no longer fleeing in panic at the sight of scarcity. Scarcity is never external. Scarcity is not a ledger of money. It is a ledger of the soul. And yet most of us chase wealth as if it were external, as if cash, contracts, and commodities could fill the void left by uncontrolled desire. How tragic, and yet how common, that a man can labor day and night, chase every opportunity, beg the world for abundance, and still remain empty, not because he is unworthy, but because he misunderstands the law of wealth entirely. Napoleon Hill called it the law of success, a law so invisible, yet so precise, that when applied with unwavering faith and disciplined action, it bends reality itself to your will. But Hill alone is not enough. Desire without control is fire that consumes the one holding the match. Passion unchecked by reason is a storm that tears down the house it was meant to build. This is where the Stoics illuminate the path. Control your mind, they whisper. Accept what is outside your command. Focus not on the tempest of circumstances, but on the anchor of your character. This is the crucible in which true wealth is forged, the fusion of unshakable ambition with unbreakable calm. Consider the man who knows that opportunity is fleeting. Most rush blindly, eyes wide, heart pounding, reacting to every twist of fortune, every unexpected insult, every market fluctuation. He thinks movement equals progress. He does not yet see that true power lies in stillness, in the ability to observe, to calculate, to act with precision. To be broke is to confuse motion with advancement, desire with need, noise with wisdom. A Stoic sees through the illusion. He understands that the root of poverty is not always the absence of money, but the absence of self-mastery. He will not allow an overvalued desire for immediate gain to cloud judgment. He will not allow fear of lack to dictate choices. Instead, he cultivates a mind so clear, so disciplined, that the necessary actions to acquire wealth become obvious, inevitable, and effortless. Desire is the spark, discipline is the fire, and wisdom is the hand that directs it. Without one, the others are wasted. Now, listen closely. Every person who struggles financially is in some way enslaved by emotions. They are prisoners of resentment, regret, impatience, and impulsive fear. They chase the illusion of quick fixes, of luck, of someone else's shortcut. They ignore the one thing that actually produces wealth, clarity of thought, intensity of purpose, and the unshakable belief that the mind can and must bend reality to its vision. Napoleon Hill would say, definiteness of purpose, faith and persistence. The Stoics would say temperance, fortitude and wisdom. Together, they form a formula for power that is ignored by the masses. You are broke because your mind tolerates chaos, because your emotions dictate strategy, because you have surrendered the inner citadel to fear. You are broke because you have not yet learned to distinguish between desire and compulsion, between the fire that fuels action and the fire that burns indiscriminately. Now imagine a different man, a man who wakes every morning with a vision so vivid that every step, every decision, every interaction is aligned with it. A man whose emotional climate remains unshaken by loss, insult, or uncertainty. A man who sees obstacles not as threats, but as feedback, as opportunities to test resolve, to refine strategy, to deepen understanding. This man is not born. He is forged. He is forged by repeated discipline, by the ruthless auditing of thought, by the unflinching confrontation with self-deception. He is forged in the silence of reflection and the storm of ambition. If you wish to cease being broke, you must first admit you are responsible. Not your circumstances, not the economy, not the missteps of the past. You alone. Your mind, your vision, your willingness to endure temporary discomfort in exchange for permanent mastery. The Stoics teach that the universe is indifferent, that fortune is neither friend nor foe. Napoleon Hill teaches that your mind is a magnet, that your thoughts and beliefs attract reality. Combine these truths and you arrive at a paradox. The world is impartial, yet your mind is potent beyond measure. What you attract, you do not beg from fate, you engineer from within. But engineering the mind requires relentless vigilance. It requires noticing every irrational fear that whispers in your ear, every seductive illusion of easy gain, every emotional overreaction that has cost you opportunities. It requires asking brutally honest questions. Why am I afraid to take the calculated risk that could change everything? Why do I allow temporary discomfort to paralyze permanent progress? Why do I chase illusions instead of mastering the fundamentals? Most people avoid these questions because the answers are uncomfortable. They require confronting weakness, confronting failure, confronting the parts of yourself you have been hiding from in mirrors, in journals, in excuses. But this is the point. It is only through discomfort that transformation occurs. Only by facing your internal pova. Thank you. Can you unlock external abundance? The law of success is simple, yet brutally demanding. Desire without discipline is wasted energy. Faith without action is empty. Persistence without clarity is chaos. And yet, these are the very habits we indulge in every day. Wanting without planning, believing without executing, enduring without learning. The Stoics remind us, control the controllable. You cannot command the tides of fortune, but you can command your response. You cannot prevent setbacks, but you can prevent their erosion of character. You cannot acquire money without effort, but you can acquire the mental framework that ensures every effort compounds, every decision multiplies in effectiveness. Wealth, then, is not external. It is a consequence of internal mastery. When your mind is disciplined, your desires are precise, your emotions calm, and your vision unwavering, the universe aligns. The opportunities that once seemed accidental become inevitable. The doors that seemed closed are seen as waiting for the key you have now forged within yourself. You are broke not because the world denies you, but because you have yet to forge the internal architecture that attracts, preserves, and multiplies wealth. You are broke because the law of success has been misinterpreted as a pursuit of money, rather than a cultivation of self. Napoleon Hill tells you to think and grow rich. The Stoics remind you that to think is to control, to grow is to endure, to be rich is to be disciplined. Between desire and action there must be mastery. Between impulse and result there must be reason. Between ambition and achievement, there must be unshakable calm. Here is the path forward. Though, oh, it is not easy, though it will demand the strength you have yet to know. Cultivate your mind like a fortress. Guard it against irrational fears, fleeting temptations, and the endless noise of the external world. Decide what you truly want, clarity before obsession, and pursue it with relentless, methodical action. Train your emotions as the Stoics taught, a raging river that can be channeled but never allowed to flood the foundations of reason. Build your vision in silence. Let it grow in darkness, away from the applause, away from the distractions, away from the despair of watching others stumble forward while you prepare. And then act. Persist, adjust, refine, repeat. This is how the broke become rich. This is how chaos becomes order. This is how fire becomes a tool, not a threat. And when the wealth finally manifests, it will not feel like a gift. It will feel like the inevitable fruit of a mind disciplined, a character tested, and a desire refined. Ask yourself again, why are you broke? The answer is staring at you in the mirror, your mind, your discipline, your emotional mastery, your vision. And the answer is also a promise. Break these chains and all else follows. But know this, there is no shortcut. There is only the path, arduous, unflinching, and transformative. Walk it deliberately. Walk it relentlessly. Walk it now, for the first step is already within your mind, waiting for you to take it. There is a quiet moment between thought and action, a space invisible to most, yet decisive in every outcome. It is here, in this fragile interval, that wealth is conceived or destroyed. The Stoics knew it as the interval of reason, the ability to pause, to measure, to respond rather than react. Napoleon Hill knew it as the birth of desire into action, the transformation of a vision into a tangible, manifest reality. Few recognize this interval, fewer still exploit it. Yet it is the fulcrum of mastery. Your mind, as it exists now, is a battlefield of impulses. Desire urges you to chase fleeting pleasure. Fear restrains you from pursuing opportunity. Envy clouds judgment. Impatience sabotages careful planning. The broke man acts without strategy, reacts without perspective, and dreams without commitment. But the man who commands both Stoic calm and Hillian vision understands that the mind is not a slave to emotion, but a tool, a compass, an architect of reality. He trains it relentlessly. He observes every thought, every impulse, every inclination. He interrogates them with brutal honesty. Why do I feel this way? What will this thought produce? Is this emotion a catalyst or a chain? He does not allow himself the luxury of illusions. To act without understanding is to act in darkness. To desire without discipline is to invite ruin. Wealth, then, is the reward of precision. Not luck, not inheritance, not accident. Precision of thought, consistency of action, clarity of purpose. Hill spoke of definiteness of purpose. The Stoics demanded clarity of reason. The fusion is irresistible. Know exactly what you want and cultivate the internal machinery necessary to attain it. Let us examine desire, for it is the spark of all human endeavor. Desire is not weakness. Desire is the raw material of ambition. But desire untamed is the architect of failure. A man may crave wealth, yet indulge distraction, delay, and emotional turbulence. Another may crave recognition, yet surrender to resentment, envy, or fear. The Stoic mind intervenes. It tempers desire with rational assessment. It asks, not what do I want now, but what is necessary for enduring success. It distinguishes between fleeting want and purposeful need. The mind of the broke man does not pause, it reacts. The mind of the wealthy man, disciplined and patient, measures, calculates, and then executes. You may say, I have desire, I have ambition. Why am I not wealthy? The answer is subtle. Desire alone is insufficient. Without control, it becomes a tempest that destroys bridges, alienates allies, and wastes time. Without reason, it becomes a shadow that leads you in circles, chasing the mirage of opportunity while the foundation crumbles beneath your feet. Napoleon Hill wrote that faith in oneself is the cornerstone of success. Faith without action is impotent. Faith without discipline is fragile. Faith without emotional mastery is susceptible to every tremor of circumstance. The Stoics would remind you, fortune is indifferent, fate is impartial. You cannot command events, only your response. The fusion of these ideas is profound. Cultivate faith that is unwavering, but cultivate a mind that is unmoved by fleeting winds. Desire is fire. Discipline is the hand that guides the flame. Vision without control is hysteria. Control without vision is stagnation. Together they forge inevitability. Now consider your emotions. The broke man is often a prisoner of them. Anger at failure, envy at others' fortune, impatience at delay, fear of risk. They govern his choices more than reason or principle. Every decision is polluted by the tremor of emotion. Every opportunity is overlooked or mishandled. Wealth is never generated in chaos. Wealth emerges from the precise alignment of thought, emotion, and action. The Stoics instruct, observe your emotions as clouds passing across the sky. Acknowledge them, but do not allow them to dictate your actions. Napoleon Hill instructs, impress your desires upon the subconscious mind with clarity, repetition, and faith. Together the message is clear: master your mind, master your emotions, master your reality. Manifestation is not a vague whisper to the universe. It is the deliberate, persistent act of transforming intention into reality. Every wealthy person you admire is an architect of manifestation, whether they understand it consciously or unconsciously. They imagined a goal, repeated it with conviction, aligned every decision with it, and persisted despite resistance, doubt, and temporary failure. They were emotionally disciplined, strategically precise, and unwavering in purpose. You can replicate this process, but only if you understand the subtle interplay of desire, belief, and emotional control. The broke man fails at this because he confuses desire with demand. He wants and wants intensely, but does not act strategically. He allows setbacks to shatter his resolve. He is emotionally enslaved, and his mind disperses the energy that could have built kingdoms. The Stoic teaches, control your reaction. Napoleon Hill teaches, persist with faith. You must do both simultaneously. Your mind is a garden. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a seed. Some seeds will bear fruit, others will choke growth. If you cultivate the weeds of fear, doubt, and impulsiveness, you will harvest poverty. If you cultivate the seeds of clarity, discipline, and strategic desire, you will harvest inevitable success. Many imagine wealth as external, as if it were coins in a chest, property on a ledger, or numbers in a bank account. This is a superficial understanding. True wealth is internal first. It is the knowledge that your mind can produce reality if disciplined, focused, and persistent. It is the calm assurance that regardless of circumstance, your internal machinery can generate opportunity, recognize it, and act upon it. It is the integration of faith, vision, and emotional mastery into a singular instrument of power. Let us explore belief, the silent engine of wealth. Belief is not mere hope. Belief is the understanding that what you desire is attainable because your mind and actions are aligned with its acquisition. It is the Stoic acceptance that obstacles will arise, paired with the Hillian insistence that persistence will overcome them. Without belief, action falters. Without action, belief is hollow. The broke man often struggles because belief is fragile. He doubts his ability, he fears judgment. He allows the tides of circumstance to erode confidence. But a disciplined mind recognizes doubt as a signal, not a verdict. He scrutinizes it, refines his strategy, and proceeds. This is the mind of inevitability, the mental posture that transforms adversity into momentum. Financial mastery is an external reflection of internal mastery. A man broke in spirit cannot generate wealth sustainably. A man emotionally turbulent cannot seize opportunity consistently. A man with scattered vision cannot accumulate resources efficiently. This is why the fusion of Napoleon Hill and Stoicism is essential. Hill provides the blueprint for manifestation. The Stoics provide the architecture of emotional and mental discipline that ensures the blueprint is executed flawlessly. Persistence is not simply repeating action, it is repeating deliberate, reasoned, aligned action despite resistance, failure, and impatience. Most fail not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack endurance, clarity, and composure. They let temporary storms cloud the horizon, abandon the path, and chase the ephemeral. Wealth is a product of relentless, disciplined action, aligned with vision and emotionally tempered by calm reason. Do you see now why you are broke? It is not chance, not circumstance, not the failings of others. It is the failure of internal mastery, the absence of clarity, of disciplined desire, of emotional regulation, of strategic action. To fix it, you must first understand it. The Stoic teaches observation, note the flaws, observe the impulses, catalogue the weaknesses. Napoleon Hill teaches transformation. Impress upon your mind a clear, vivid vision of success, act upon it consistently, persist despite obstacles, and allow the subconscious mind to coordinate opportunities beyond conscious planning. The synthesis is radical: understand, act, endure, and remain unshaken. The broke man may say, I will try. The master says, I will act deliberately, I will endure, I will persist, and the universe will respond to the precision of my mind. This is no theory, this is method tested across centuries. Desire without clarity is chaos, clarity without persistence is futility, persistence without emotional control is self-destruction, emotional control without desire is stagnation. Align them, perfect them, and you will be unstoppable. You are broke because your mind tolerates distraction, because your emotions dictate choices, because your desire is scattered. Begin now to correct it. Pause before action. Measure every impulse. Ask, will this advance my vision? Does this align with my purpose? Is this worth the sacrifice? These questions are not rhetorical. They are the crucible in which wealth is forged. The mind that refuses them remains enslaved. The mind that embraces them becomes a magnet for opportunity. The journey is never external. Every dollar, every asset, every acquisition is a reflection of internal mastery. Train your mind, train your emotions, define your vision, persist relentlessly. This is how scarcity becomes abundance. This is how chaos becomes control. This is how the broke become unstoppable. And know this, there is no luck in this process. Fortune favors those prepared. The universe responds to clarity, precision, and endurance. It does not coddle weakness, indecision, or emotional turbulence. To walk this path is to embrace discipline as your closest companion, clarity as your constant guide, and persistence as your unyielding creed. The mind, once disciplined, is unstoppable. The emotions, once tempered, are allies. The vision, once defined, is inevitable. Every action is purposeful, every setback informative, every moment a stepping stone. You are no longer merely reacting to life, you are creating it. Do you understand the true nature of desire? Most see it as a fleeting want, a craving that comes and goes like the wind. They chase it indiscriminately, believing that satisfying one impulse will fulfill them entirely, only to discover that each victory births a new void, each acquisition a new longing. The broke man is always chasing, never arriving, because he mistakes motion for progress, consumption for creation. The Stoic knows otherwise. He understands that desire is not an external force to be fulfilled, but an internal fire to be refined. It must be discipled. Ined, aligned and channeled toward the precise construction of a vision, or it will consume the very hands meant to build. Napoleon Hill teaches that desire is the starting point of all achievement, the seed from which success grows. Yet desire alone is fragile. It is the raw energy of intention, but without mastery it becomes chaos. Without the tempering hand of reason, it leads to distraction, impulsiveness, and exhaustion. Here lies the paradox. Desire is the spark, yet the spark alone does not light the fire of wealth. The Stoics intercede here, providing the architecture in which this spark can thrive without igniting destruction. They teach that self-mastery is the foundation of all achievement. The broke man often lacks it. He allows fear to dictate decisions, impatience to fracture plans, and envy to poison strategy. He reacts, he resents, he chases. The master, however, observes. He allows the fire of desire to burn, but he directs it with unwavering precision. Every thought is interrogated, every impulse is questioned. Will this advance my vision? Does this align with my purpose? Will this action compound my effectiveness or dissipate it? In the silence of this scrutiny, the mind is forged. It becomes sharp, resilient, unshakable. The master does not flee difficulty. He seeks it as a testing ground, for only through resistance does the mind, disciplined and unwavering, reveal its true capacity. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every setback an experiment, every delay a calibration of strategy. Wealth is not the absence of resistance, it is the mastery of it. Napoleon Hill emphasizes the role of faith and imagination. Faith, in this context, is not blind hope. It is a deep, unshakable conviction that the mind, once disciplined and aligned with purpose, can attract the circumstances necessary to realize its vision. Imagination is the tool by which the abstract becomes concrete, by which ideas take shape in the physical world. Without imagination, faith has no vector. Without faith, imagination is mere fantasy. The Stoics complement this by teaching that the mind must remain anchored in reason, emotionally unshaken by external turbulence. Imagination must not be whimsical. Faith must not be fragile. Together they form a lattice of mental architecture, capable of bending reality toward intention. This is the essence of manifestation, the alignment of thought, emotion, and action so precise that opportunity and result appear inevitable. Yet few understand this, and even fewer execute it. Consider the man who desires wealth but fears loss. He hesitates at every crossroads, deferring action for the illusion of safety. He blames circumstances, waiting for luck to favor him, failing to recognize that luck is not random, but attracted by clarity, discipline, and persistence. The Stoic mind sees that fortune is indifferent, that external events are beyond command. Napoleon Hill's mind sees that the internal is powerful beyond measure. The fusion is devastatingly effective. Master your internal world, and the external world will conform. Emotional discipline is the crucible of this mastery. The broke man allows anger, resentment, and impatience to dictate action. The master channels these energies, acknowledging their presence but never surrendering to them. He recognizes that the human mind is a magnet. What is consistently impressed upon it will manifest externally. Fear attracts limitation. Impulsivity attracts chaos. Despair attracts stagnation. Faith, aligned purpose, and disciplined emotion attract opportunity, growth, and wealth. Here is where persistence becomes sacred. Persistence is not mere stubbornness. It is the sustained, deliberate action of a disciplined mind aligned with a refined desire. It is the repetition of intentional acts, calibrated, measured, and emotionally neutral. Every failure is a lesson, every delay an opportunity to refine strategy, every challenge a test of internal strength. This is why the broke man fails. He abandons action when discomfort arises. He substitutes hope for effort. He allows external events to dictate his internal state. The master persists because his mind is a fortress, his vision a map, and his emotions disciplined allies rather than tyrants. The law of success, therefore, is inseparable from the law of self-mastery. Desire is the spark, but discipline and emotional control are the hands that shape it. Vision is the blueprint, but persistence is the construction. Every wealthy individual you admire has followed this fusion, whether consciously or not. They imagined a goal with clarity, tempered their emotions with discipline, acted persistently, and allowed the universe to respond to the precision of their internal alignment. You may argue, but what about luck? What about timing? What about external forces? Understand this: external forces exist, but they are malleable only through the power of an internally mastered mind. Timing is a factor, yes, but the disciplined mind creates its own timing, recognizing opportunity in chaos, seeing advantage where others see only obstacle. Luck favors preparation. Fortune follows precision. Wealth rewards mastery. The broke man ignores these truths because he confuses activity with effectiveness, desire with discipline, and impulse with strategy. He acts in haste, dreams in distraction, and falters in adversity. The master, however, observes first, calculates second, and executes with relentless purpose third. This is the bridge between thought and manifestation, between intention and reality. Without it, the mind is a storm. With it, the mind is a magnet. Now consider the role of sacrifice. The broke man resists it, fearing discomfort, deprivation, or temporary loss. The master embraces it, knowing that delayed gratification, disciplined effort, and emotional regulation are not punishments, but instruments of inevitable success. Every moment surrendered to discipline compounds into exponential advantage. Every discomfort endured strengthens character and sharpens judgment. Every decision made with reason over impulse creates leverage that money cannot buy. This is the essence of mental alchemy, transforming desire into disciplined action, chaos into clarity, fleeting ambition into enduring wealth. Your mind is capable of extraordinary feats, yet most squander it on distraction, complaint, and fear. To correct this, you must first observe, then intervene. Examine every thought that arises, question every impulse, align every action with vision, temper every emotion with reason, persist despite failure, delay, or uncertainty. Faith is your compass, imagination your map, discipline your vehicle. Together, they move mountains. This is not philosophy. It is applied science of Stoic. The Stoics teach that control is everything. Napoleon Hill teaches that thought creates reality. Fuse these and you arrive at a methodology. Control your mind, define your desire, act relentlessly, endure resistance, refine constantly, and allow manifestation to become inevitable. The broke man is ruled by circumstance. The master is ruled by principle. The broke man fears scarcity. The master uses scarcity as a mirror, reflecting gaps in strategy, clarity, and discipline. The broke man chases quick gains. The master builds long-term inevitability. The broke man is reactive. The master is proactive. Every wealthy mind operates within this fusion, consciously or unconsciously. You are broke because your mind has tolerated disorder, your emotions have dictated action, and your vision has remained vague. Begin now to impose order. Examine the mechanics of your desire. Identify the impulses that misdirect effort. Interrogate the fears that paralyze action. Align every thought, every feeling, every step with the vision you wish to manifest. Persist in this alignment, and external reality will follow. This is the law. This is the process. This is the fusion of metaphysical creation and Stoic mastery, desire disciplined, vision clarified, emotions controlled, action relentless, persistence sacred. Step into it. Refuse distraction. Refuse impulsivity. Refuse emotional enslavement. You have been broke because you allowed your inner world to dictate outcomes. Now, take it back. The mind is no longer a battlefield, it is a forge. The fire of desire is channeled, the hammer of discipline strikes, the anvil of persistence shapes, and the sculpture of wealth emerges from the raw material of internal mastery. Walk deliberately, act precisely, endure relentlessly, and allow the inevitable manifestation of your vision to unfold. You are no longer merely dreaming of wealth, you are engineering it. Belief is the invisible force that shapes reality. It is the silent current beneath every action, the unseen engine behind every manifestation. Most people mistake belief for hope, for a fleeting wish whispered into the void. The broke man hopes that life will bend to him, that circumstances will smile, that luck will arrive unbidden. But the master knows hope is fragile. Belief is iron. Belief is the decision that no matter the chaos around you, your mind, your strategy, and your actions will yield results. Napoleon Hill wrote that faith is the cornerstone of all achievement. Faith is not blind, it is deliberate, cultivated, and reinforced. It is impressed upon the subconscious through repetition, visualization, and unwavering conviction. The Stoics would add that belief must coexist with reason. It must not be swayed by circumstance, insult, or temporary misfortune. The fusion of these truths is the secret of the unstoppable mind, a belief so strong that action becomes inevitable, yet so tempered that emotion cannot derail it. Observe the broke man. He doubts, he hesitates, he questions endlessly, he measures opportunity against fear, and fear always wins. The master, however, is immune to indecision. He interrogates the risk, measures the variables, and acts with disciplined conviction. Every action is deliberate. Every step is aligned with vision. Every setback is absorbed, analyzed, and transformed into leverage. Emotional detachment is the weapon T allows this transformation. The Stoics teach that attachment to outcomes, to praise, to fear, or to loss is a cage. Napoleon Hill teaches that the mind is a magnet, drawing into life the thoughts most impressed upon it. Combine these, detach from outcome, impress with clarity, act relentlessly. The broke man is attached, the master is free. He acts without panic, invests without greed, and persists without desperation. The external world becomes a reflection of internal mastery. Here is where strategic action is born. Most people equate action with movement, thinking that busyness equals progress. But movement without strategy is wasted energy. Busyness without alignment is a trap. Wealth is created not by motion, but by precise, disciplined, deliberate action. The master recognizes the intervals between thought and movement as sacred. He measures, he calculates, he aligns. Then, and only then, does he act. Persistence is applied with intelligence, emotion is channeled with discipline, and desire is concentrated like a laser upon the target. This is the architecture of success. The broke man complains of timing, luck, and circumstance. The master manufactures timing, attracts opportunity, and converts potential into reality. He understands that the universe is impartial but responsive to precision. The law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, and the law of human action converge in his mind. He is a composer of events, a conductor of outcomes. Every thought resonates with purpose. Every feeling is moderated. Every action compounds into leverage. This is the science of manifestation through self-mastery. Consider the role of emotional turbulence. The broke man is tossed by every wave. A loss triggers panic. An insult triggers resentment. A delay triggers despair. His energy dissipates in reaction, and opportunity passes unnoticed. The master, however, observes each wave without being engulfed. Anger becomes fuel for strategy. Disappointment becomes data for refinement. delay becomes a laboratory for patience. Emotional detachment is not apathy, it is precision. It is the understanding that energy spent on turbulence is energy stolen from creation. The Stoics called this serenity. Napoleon Hill called it faith in action. Together, they produce a mind capable of enduring the harshest storms without losing trajectory. Vision and belief, when fused with emotional detachment, create inevitability. The broke man acts sporadically, chasing fleeting desires, reacting impulsively to circumstance. The master acts with relentless alignment. His vision is precise, his belief unshakable, his emotions disciplined, his actions deliberate. Wealth becomes a natural byproduct, not a gamble. Now, consider sacrifice. Wealth demands it. Few are willing to endure temporary discomfort for permanent mastery. The broke man avoids it, fearing loss of comfort, reputation, or immediate pleasure. The master embraces it, knowing that each deliberate act of delayed gratification compounds exponentially. Sacrifice is the forge in which desire is transformed into power, impulse into action, and vision into manifestation. He chooses discomfort in the present to secure freedom in the future. This is the paradox of mastery. To gain control, you must surrender to principle. To gain abundance, you must endure scarcity with discipline. To gain inevitability, you must navigate resistance with calm precision. The mind, once disciplined, becomes a magnet. Opportunities, resources, and alliances align with its intent. Fortune, once indifferent, bends to clarity and persistence. The broke man remains blind to this. He complains, reacts, and fears. The master observes, calculates, and persists. Every setback is a test, every delay a lesson, every obstacle an opportunity. Mental rehearsal, visualization, and imagination are tools of the master. Napoleon Hill emphasized the repetition of desire upon the subconscious mind. The Stoics emphasized reflection, self-examination, and mental preparedness. Together, they create a mind that anticipates challenges, calculates outcomes, and acts with precision. Manifestation becomes inevitable when thought, emotion, and action are aligned. The broke man misunderstands risk. He fears failure, delay, and scarcity, allowing them to dictate behavior. The master embraces risk as data, as feedback, as a testing ground for refinement. He distinguishes between irrational fear and calculated risk. He detaches from outcome while committing fully to action. This is the essence of strategic mastery. Wealth is not a lottery, it is the manifestation of disciplined thought, refined desire, calculated action, emotional mastery, and persistent alignment. To fix your broken state, you must master belief, faith in yourself, in your method, and in the power of disciplined thought. You must detach emotionally from temporary setbacks and outcome anxiety. You must act strategically, deliberately, and persistently. The mind is a fertile field. If you plant weeds of fear, doubt, and impatience, you will harvest poverty. If you plant seeds of clarity, disciplined desire, emotional control, and strategic action, you will harvest inevitability. The broke man is blind to this law. The master is both architect and alchemist, transforming thought into reality, impulse into strategy, chaos into opportunity. He is relentless, patient, and unshakable. He understands that external circumstances are secondary. What matters is the internal landscape, clarity of vision, purity of desire, strength of belief, discipline of emotion, persistence of action. Master these, and wealth is a natural byproduct. Begin now. Observe your thoughts, scrutinize your impulses, refine your desires, discipline your emotions, align every action with your vision. Persist despite failure, setback, and delay. Imprint your belief upon the subconscious with repetition and unwavering conviction. This is the fusion of Napoleon Hill's law of success and Stoic self-mastery, the internal machinery that produces inevitable external results. The broke man complains, hesitates, and reacts. The master observes, calculates, and persists. The broke man is trapped by circumstance. The master is liberated by principle. The broke man chases illusions. The master constructs reality. The broke man is enslaved by desire. The master channels it. The broke man fears loss. The master leverages it. The broke man waits for fortune. The master creates it. Do you now see why you are broke? Your mind tolerates chaos. Your emotions dictate action. Your desire is scattered. Your vision vague. Begin now to reclaim mastery. Observe, refine, act, persist. Align thought, emotion, and action. Detach from fleeting turbulence. Persist relentlessly. Faithfully repeat. Internal mastery produces external inevitability. Wealth is the reflection of your internal order. Chaos cannot manifest abundance. Discipline produces freedom. Detachment produces precision. Belief produces inevitability. Step into this fusion. Take control of your mind. Align desire with purpose. Temper emotion with reason. Persist despite adversity. Let manifestation become inevitable. The broke man is lost in reaction. The master is forging reality. You are capable of the latter. The choice is within your mind, and the time is now. The difference between the broke and the master is subtle, yet catastrophic in its consequences. The broke man is aware of the rules of success, yet he misunderstands them. He chases what he sees, reacts to what he feels, and hopes for what he does not understand. The master knows the truth. Wealth is a reflection of internal mastery. It is not external circumstance that creates abundance. It is internal discipline, refined desire, strategic vision, and the relentless application of aligned action. Imagine the mind as a fortress. Within it, every thought is a soldier, every impulse a tool, every belief a weapon. The broke man allows chaos to infiltrate the gates. Fear, doubt, envy, and impatience roam freely, undermining every plan, every decision, every step toward abundance. The master, however, surveys his internal landscape like a general before battle. He identifies weakness, fortifies strengths, and aligns every resource toward inevitable victory. Napoleon Hill spoke of definiteness of purpose. The Stoics spoke of internal sovereignty. Together they teach that clarity of vision, coupled with disciplined action, produces the inevitable ity of success. But clarity alone is insufficient. The master cultivates obsession, but an obsession disciplined by reason. He visualizes relentlessly, yet he tempers every image with practical action. He desires intensely, yet he submits every impulse to rational scrutiny. This is the alchemy of wealth, turning raw desire into deliberate, unstoppable momentum. Most are broken because they confuse distraction with progress. They chase the visible, the immediate, the tempting. The master chases the invisible, the enduring, the inevitable. He understands that the world is abundant, but only to those who prepare their internal systems to receive it. Faith, in this context, is a tool as precise as a scalpel. It is not blind belief, it is disciplined certainty. The broke man vacillates, wondering if he is capable, if the world is fair, if opportunity is real. The master never doubts. He moves because he knows the alignment of his mind, vision, and action will produce result. Every setback is data, every obstacle an experiment, every failure an instruction. This is the mind that turns scarcity into leverage, delay into preparation, chaos into clarity. Now consider emotional sovereignty. The broke man allows external events to dictate his internal state. A missed opportunity triggers despair. An insult triggers anger. A minor loss triggers panic. He becomes a puppet, reacting endlessly to strings pulled by circumstance. The master observes without surrender. Anger becomes fuel. Fear becomes information. Loss becomes leverage. Emotional detachment is not apathy, it is power concentrated, energy focused, clarity amplified. Napoleon Hill emphasizes impressing desire upon the subconscious. The Stoics emphasize observation and control. The synthesis is elegant. The mind becomes a magnet for aligned opportunity. Every thought, action, and emotional response becomes a coordinated instrument, capable of manifesting inevitability. Most fail because they cannot synchronize these elements. Desire is scattered. Vision is vague. Action is impulsive. Emotion is chaotic. Persistence is inconsistent. The master synchronizes all. He knows that manifestation is not magic, it is method. Every wealthy mind operates on this principle, consciously or unconsciously. They imagine with clarity. They persist with discipline. They act with precision. They regulate emotion with reason. They observe, analyze, and refine continuously. Scarcity becomes a teacher. Adversity becomes an opportunity. Resistance becomes leverage. Wealth is the natural outcome. The broke man remains blind. He believes in luck, timing, and chance. The master creates timing, attracts opportunity, and converts potential into reality. He understands that the universe is indifferent, yet responsive to precision. Thought, aligned with emotion and action, produces consequence. The law of success is immutable. Internal mastery produces external manifestation. Consider now the power of focus. The broke man divides attention endlessly, chasing every shiny distraction, following every passing desire. He multiplies effort but dilutes effect. The master concentrates like a laser. Every thought, every action, every resource is directed toward a singular, clearly defined objective. The result is not chaos, it is compounding effectiveness. One concentrated effort produces the impact of 10 scattered ones. Discipline of focus is the cornerstone of self-mastery. Every wealthy individual employs it, whether consciously or unconsciously. Hill calls it definiteness of purpose. The Stoics call it the unwavering mind. Together they form inevitability. Now consider the interplay of patience and urgency. The broke man lacks patience, yet acts without urgency. He desires results immediately, yet fails to execute consistently. He reacts impulsively to every stimulus. The master possesses both. He acts urgently in alignment with purpose, yet he endures patiently, understanding that external results take time to compound. He leverages delay as preparation, resistance as instruction, and scarcity as motivation. Every moment, therefore, becomes a strategic asset. Visualization is another weapon of the master. Napoleon Hill emphasizes impressing your goals upon the subconscious mind, seeing them as real, living, and inevitable. The Stoics temper this with detachment, see the vision clearly, but remain emotionally unshaken by obstacles or delay. The result is a mind that not only imagines success, but aligns every action, response, and decision to manifest it. The broke man wishes, the master engineers. Action must be relentless, yet deliberate. Persistence must be consistent, yet adaptable. Desire must be intense, yet disciplined. Belief must be unwavering, yet reasoned. Emotion must be energetic, yet controlled. These are not contradictions, they are harmonies. They are the symphony of the mind that produces inevitability. Now consider the practical mechanics. Every decision must be evaluated for alignment with long-term vision. Every expense, every interaction, every commitment is measured against purpose. Distractions are eliminated ruthlessly. Time is treated as the finite resource it is. Energy is directed with precision. Habits are cultivated, refined, and repeated. Every element of life is leveraged toward the construction of wealth. Sacrifice is embraced, but strategically. The broke man fears loss. The master leverages it. Every discomfort endured today compounds into freedom, control, and abundance tomorrow. Every delay mastered today compounds into opportunity captured tomorrow. Every resistance overcome today compounds into internal strength tomorrow. This is the formula ignored by most, yet applied by all who achieve extraordinary success. The mind is the battlefield. Desire is the weapon. Discipline is the shield. Faith is the compass. Persistence is the armor. Vision is the map. Action is the execution. Emotional mastery is the command over the battlefield. This is the alchemy that converts scarcity into abundance, chaos into control, thought into reality. The broke man is unaware of these forces. The master harnesses them. You are capable of becoming the latter. But it demands more than wishing. It demands more than fleeting effort. It demands relentless internal mastery, unshakable belief, disciplined desire, strategic action, and emotional sovereignty. It demands confronting fear, dissecting doubt, and embracing temporary discomfort as a tool of transformation. The law is immutable. Internal mastery produces external inevitability. The broke man remains trapped by circumstance. The master creates circumstances. The broke man reacts to fortune. The master engineers it. The broke man is enslaved by desire. The master channels it. The broke man fears us. The master leverages it. The broke man waits for luck. The master creates it. Everything you desire is within your reach if your mind, emotion, and action are aligned. The universe does not oppose you. It responds to the precision of your internal architecture. Align, act, persist, and allow manifestation to become inevitable. You are no longer a passive participant. You are the architect. You are the engineer. You are the master. Now, ask yourself this. If all the rules, all the laws, all the principles of success are known to you, why do you remain where you are? Why is abundance still distant, opportunity still fleeting, and power still someone else's possession? The answer is neither complex nor hidden. It is within your own mind. The broke man blames circumstance. He blames the economy, society, fate, or the missteps of others. The master understands that external chaos is irrelevant. Only internal mastery matters. Every man who has achieved extraordinary wealth, influence, and freedom has done so not because fortune smiled, but because he refused to be enslaved by circumstance. He refused to be distracted by fear. He refused to be paralyzed by doubt. He refused to surrender the mind to chaos, and you can do the same. Begin by realizing that desire alone is meaningless. Desire is the spark, yes, but without the forge of discipline, it will flicker and die. Discipline is the hammer, the anvil, the precision of thought applied relentlessly. It is the process of interrogating every impulse. Will this move me closer to my vision or away from it? Every distraction eliminated, every irrational fear subdued, every thought aligned, every action deliberate, every emotion tempered. This is the architecture of the master's mind. Napoleon Hill taught that faith in oneself is the cornerstone of success. Faith is not hope, it is certainty born from clarity of vision and consistency of action. The Stoics taught that the world is indifferent. External events are neither friend nor foe. Yet the mind, disciplined, focused, and unshakable, is a force the universe cannot ignore. These truths are not abstract. They are applied science. They are the operating system of inevitability. Every decision you make, every step you take, is either building this system within you or dismantling it. Every moment spent in distraction, complaint, or indecision strengthens the chains of poverty. Every moment spent in observation, discipline, and strategic action strengthens the foundations of inevitable wealth. The broke man fears resistance. The master seeks it as a test of endurance. The broke man fears delay. The master uses it as preparation. The broke man fears discomfort. The master embraces it as a teacher. Emotional mastery is not suppression, it is redirection. Anger, fear, impatience, and desire are not enemies, they are fuel. The question is whether you direct them with precision or let them consume you. The broke man reacts, the master acts. Manifestation is not magic, it is method. Every thought impressed upon the subconscious, every desire clarified, every action aligned, every emotion tempered, every obstacle endured, every setback analyzed, every opportunity seized. All of these are steps in the deliberate process by which internal mastery becomes external inevitability. Now, focus on your vision. What is it that you truly want? Not superficially, not whimsically, but deeply, with the kind of clarity that sears itself into your consciousness. Imagine it vividly, see it, feel it, believe it, write it into the architecture of your mind until every decision, every action, every interaction is drawn toward it. And yet, temper it with Stoic detachment. Do not be enslaved by outcome anxiety. Let your mind be like a calm lake reflecting the clarity of the sky, unshaken by wind or storm. This is the paradoxical power of wealth. Desire must burn, yet emotion must remain still. Action must be relentless, yet judgment must remain precise. Persistence is your sword. Every failure is not a defeat but feedback. Every delay not a setback but a laboratory. Every loss not a catastrophe but leverage for refinement. The broke man succumbs, the master perseveres. Now consider sacrifice. You will be required to forego immediate pleasure for long-term mastery. You will need to act when others hesitate, endure when others surrender, persist when others falter. Comfort is the enemy of creation. Temporary discomfort is the currency of freedom. Every disciplined choice compounds, building an internal fortress that cannot be breached by circumstance. The mind is your ultimate asset. It is the generator of wealth, the magnet for opportunity, the architect of inevitability. Every thought impressed upon it, every emotion mastered, every action aligned, every setback leveraged, every vision clarified. This is the alchemy of power. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose. The Stoics called it internal sovereignty. Together they form the law of inevitable success. Let us speak plainly. You are broke because you have tolerated chaos, because your emotions have dictated action, because your desire has scattered, because your vision has remained vague. You are broke because you have failed to impose order within the only domain that truly matters, your mind. You are broke because you have not yet understood that the universe responds not to hope, not to complaint, not to panic, but to precision, clarity of thought, disciplined desire, aligned action, emotional mastery, and relentless persistence. Today, that changes. Today, you begin to forge inevitability. Begin by commanding your mind. Observe every thought. Interrogate every impulse. Align every desire. Discipline every emotion. Take deliberate, persistent, strategic action. Refine continuously. Endure resistance. Leverage failure. Detach from outcome. Imprint your belief upon the subconscious. Repeat, refine, persist. Internal mastery becomes external manifestation. Every dollar, every opportunity, every success will be drawn toward the architecture you have built within. The broke man complains about circumstance. The master creates circumstance. The broke man reacts. The master acts. The broke man waits for fortune. The master engineers it. The broke man is enslaved by desire. The master channels it. The broke man fears loss. The master leverages it. This is the path, the law, the inevitable truth of those who achieve extraordinary success. You are capable of walking it. You are capable of forging it. The tools are within you. The only obstacle is your choice. Choose mastery over chaos. Choose action over hesitation. Choose persistence over despair. Choose clarity over distraction. Choose discipline over impulse. Choose inevitability over chance. Today the world will test you. Obstacles will rise. Setbacks will appear. Resistance will resist. But remember this, the universe bends to precision. Circumstance is indifferent, yet opportunity is drawn to mastery. Your mind is the magnet, your belief is the current, your action is the channel, your discipline is the anchor, your persistence is the engine. Every element aligned produces inevitable manifestation. You are no longer merely imagining wealth, you are creating it. No one else can grant you this power. No law, no mentor, no system outside yourself can replace the architecture you build within. The broke man searches externally. The master commands internally. The broke man reacts. The master engineers. The broke man hopes. The master knows. The broke man fears. The master acts. Step into this now. Take command of your mind. Refine desire into action. Temper emotion into precision. Persist until resistance becomes leverage, delay becomes preparation, and failure becomes feedback. Impress your vision upon the subconscious. Act relentlessly. Endure without complaint. Refine continuously. This is the fusion of Napoleon Hill's law of success and Stoic mastery. The method of inevitability, the law of manifestation, the architecture of unstoppable wealth. Today, you take the first deliberate step into transformation. Today, you leave behind chaos, distraction, fear, and indecision. Today, you enter the domain of those who understand that internal mastery produces external inevitability. Walk the path, forge your mind, align your action, persist, endure, manifest, become the master of your destiny. The broke man is left behind, the master moves forward. You are capable of becoming too. The latter. Decide now, begin now, forge now. And the universe, indifferent but responsive, will obey.